this is
Why is it
science,
upside down?
so we like to have special terms to describe these processes. In this three-part video, we are going to look at the transport systems in plants for moving food, water, and minerals around.
Then we're going to watch this as soon as
We have a beating heart and circulating blood, but what do plants do? Cut a plant open and it doesn't bleed. So what happens instead? Plants have their own systems. They have a xylem, which moves water and solutes from the roots to the leaves, and a phloem, which moves glucose made in the leaves by photosynthesis and amino acids to the rest of the plant. Here are the xylem, and here are the phloem. Notice how the arrangement is different in the stem and the roots. The xylem and the phloem are found in groups called vascular bundles, and the position of these bundles changes for different parts of the plant. Both the xylem and the phloem are made up of rows of cells that form a continuous tube running the whole length of the plant. The xylem vessels are made of elongated dead cells that are impermeable to water and have walls containing lignin, a woody material. Because of this, xylem vessels are tough, which is why the vascular bundles in the roots are in the center. They help prevent the plant being pulled out of the ground. They are also more protected in the center. Whereas the stem has to resist being squashed and bent, and so it has the vascular bundles nearer to the edge to give the stem strength and support. The phloem vessels are made up of living cells. They transport sucrose and amino acids up and down the plant, depending upon where they are needed. Whereas in the xylem, the movement is just one way, from the roots up to the leaves. So we know that water and minerals go up the xylem, and amino acids and glucose go up and down the phloem. But how? In the second part of this video, we are going to look at the xylem and transpiration.
Okay, so let's just wait for Aguilera. She's gone to the bathroom. And then let me explain that to you. Okay, so sadly I can't take this off because I have to protect these children. Okay, so let me explain it to you. I did explain it a little bit to Jonathan and to her a minute ago. So the first thing you need to understand is the difference between the two. So the vascular bundle is made up of all of these little tubes that are put together, right? Some are xylem vessels, some are phloem tubes. The xylem vessels are like a straw. They are empty and wooden, and there's no nucleus, there's no cytoplasm even, there's nothing. All it has is a lignified, which means strengthened cell wall, okay? So then what happens, Jonathan, I don't want to exclude you, my darling. So what happens is, as I was explaining to the other two a little bit earlier, you have your leaf, and your leaf is in the sunshine, right? And on the leaf, the sun is shining. Now, you know if you've been swimming and you lie in the sun and it's lovely and warm, you feel that the water evaporates from your body quite quickly and you get dry, right? So this is what happens. So the sun is shining on this leaf and it's evaporating the water. Now that evaporation of the water is just like when you are drinking out of a straw. So if you take a straw and you suck a little bit out of the top of the straw, the coke comes up through the straw, doesn't it, or whatever you're drinking. So what happens is you're drinking the leaf, water's being sucked out of the leaf, and that is called, and you must remember this word, I will write it for you in a minute, it is called transpiration, T-R-A-N-S-P-I-R-A-T-I-O-N, transpiration. When they ask you about transpiration, you must explain that it is the movement from the roots to the leaf, through the xylem vessels, and remember xylem is spelled X-Y-L-E-M. Due to the fact that the air is evaporating out of the leaf, it causes a vacuum and then the water gets sucked up through the xylem vessels. Does it make sense, Afensi? Afensi, are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm asking Afensi if she understands. Can she hear me? I don't know. Fancy? Can she hear me? I don't know what's going on. I'm really struggling today with this thing, honestly. Where have they gone? Okay, so do you understand, children? The fence is gone again. Oh, I don't know if she's still here. Yes, Sinako?
You said transpiration is the movement of?
Transpiration is the movement of water from the root of the plant through the xylem vessels. Portia, Fancy, can you hear me? I don't know if she can hear me. And then Dubai here has not greeted anybody. Are you here, Connie? Okay, that says Dubai.
Yes, ma'am.
Yay! Can you hear me? Do you understand, Connie?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there we have.
Yes, ma'am.
Here we have our other children, so you can be together, right? I'm going to roll around and come.
Yes.
Okay, so we have the xylem vessels and we have the phloem tubes. So, have you got that?
Yes, ma'am.
So what it does is the leaf gets hot and then the water gets sucked out and then it's like a straw and the water goes through the tube up to the top and evaporates, and that is called transpiration. Okay, so the next thing is there's the phloem tubes. Now the difference between the xylem vessel and the phloem tubes. The phloem tubes also do not have a nucleus, but they do have a cytoplasm, and they're green. They're not empty, like the xylem vessels are empty like a straw. They also are not lignified, so that their walls are not strengthened. Okay, so that's how they're different. They have in between the cells a little sieve. So it's like the cell wall has got little holes in it that the sugar and the starch can go through. Now, what I asked Jonath and Avuile just now is, where do you think in the plant you would need the sugar and the starch? Think of a plant. Where is it starchy or sweet? Can you give me an idea?
In the stem, isn't it?
It would depend on the stem. I suppose if you're talking about maybe rhubarb would have a sweet stem, wouldn't it? I don't know if you've ever eaten rhubarb. It looks a bit like celery, and you can make jam with it. But where else? I mean, think about plants that you eat. What about
is it not the roots? The
plants?
plants? No.
Give me an example of a root that would be starchy or sweet.
Potato.
Yes, a potato.
Name is a potato root.
Good. A potato is a tuber, right? A potato is a tuber. But you could talk about a carrot, couldn't you? A carrot is sweet a lot of the time. What about beetroot? Right? Beetroot is sweet. I don't like it much because I think it tastes a bit like dirt. I don't know about you. But beetroot is sweet, right? What about sweet potato? Sweet potato, you can make dessert with sweet potato. All right. So sweet potato is also sweet. Do you understand? So that is called the sink. So what happens with the phloem tubes, they go from the site to the sink. Now the site is anywhere in the plant where it's green. So it can be a leaf. If you look at a flower, it has little sepals that hang down, right, below the flower. You have the petals that go up, and then you have the sepals that hang down. Now those sepals on the sides of your rose or whatever flower you've got are green, am I right? So any part of the plant which is green has got chloroplasts, and it therefore photosynthesizes, so that is the site. So the phloem tubes are two-way traffic. The xylem vessels go in one direction, from the root to the leaf, right? But the phloem tubes, you can go anywhere you want. So you can go left, right, anywhere you want through the phloem tube. And it goes from the site, which is the green part of the plant, to the sink, S-I-N-K, which is where it is needed. So it could be a fruit. It could be a tuber, which is the potato. It could be the root in the case of the carrot. All right. If you've ever taken some of the flowers that you get in the garden, like a honeysuckle, how many of you have taken a honeysuckle and you pull off the top and then you suck it? And there's that lovely sweet nectar. Have you tried that? So that is also sweet. The sugar goes into the flower. Okay, you must try it. I'm going to bring some for you to taste if I can find some. So inside the little flower, you pull off the flower and you suck it, and you'll see there's lovely sweet nectar, and that's what the bees go and drink. All right, so that is what you do. So it goes from the site, which is the green part of the plant, to any part of the plant which has got starch, carbohydrates, or, sorry guys, this is the story of my life. It's actually... Andre, can you please phone Bram and tell him I'm in a Zoom? He's trying to get me. I'll get back to him as soon as I can. I'm in with a class and a Zoom at the same time. Okay, so I just cut him off, so if you just call him back. Okay, so basically that's what you have to learn about the xylem vessels and the phloem tubes. So the xylem vessels with the phloem tubes together are called vascular bundles. Vascular bundles, all right. And those vascular bundles are made up of the two, and they're the vein that you can see in the plant. So when you look at a leaf and you see a vein, that vein is made up of two things, xylem vessels and phloem tubes. All right, and we call it a vascular bundle. Does it make more sense, Sinako?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the differences you need to remember. Xylem vessel is lignified. In other words, it's a little bit wooden. It's reinforced. It's empty. It's like a straw, but it's one-way traffic, and the water goes from the root to the leaves where it evaporates. That's called transpiration. Then you have the phloem tubes. The phloem tubes have got two-way traffic. They are not empty, and they have got like a sieve plate, and the sieve plate has got little gaps in it, and those little gaps allow the sugar and the starch to flow through. Okay, and then that helps them to transport the sugar and the starch from the site, and the site is whatever part of the plant is green, to the sink, and the sink is the part where you're going to find sugar or starch. It could also be healthy fats, because healthy fats are also made with sugar and starch, remember? And if you're going to eat an avocado pear, it needs to be able to get the sugar and the starch and the things from the leaves. So that will also go through the phloem tubes. What about things like hazelnuts, walnuts, those lovely, what are they called? My favorite nuts are those, what are they called now? I've forgotten. No, I like cashews, but what are those round, hard ones? They're a little bit hard like a Brazil nut. Gosh, I've forgotten their names. I'll have to get those for you as well. Mr. Pino, what are my favorite nuts? Those round, hard ones that are a bit like Brazils. You know the ones I'm talking about? My mom used to love them, like macadamias. Macadamias are sweet, eh, children? So macadamia nuts will also have the sugar and the starch and everything in it. So that has come from the root or wherever it's being made, and then it's gone to the sink. Do you understand, Connie? Miss Dubai? Connie and Fancy are not talking to us anymore.
Maybe that you too.
I didn't mute them. Okay, children, so that is basically today's lesson. What you need to remember, I'm going to send you some notes, and I'm going to maybe do a little quiz for you, and then I will see how you go. Okay. At the moment, look at my little class is a bit small. I only have these two, and they're a bit sad. Jonah was fed up with Sinako. But I think a lot of the grade 10s are coming back on Monday, so don't worry, my boy, one more day. You'll have to feel special, okay? One more day, and then I think most of the children are coming back on Monday. Today we had a lot of grade 9s. The grade 9s are almost quite, I think we're about 10. And then grade 3s, I think we also have 10. So slowly but surely people are coming back. But if you're online, we're still going to do online, and with the children, like I was saying to Jonathan and to what you have to do is you can also do the online, and I want to try and organize more fun things online. So we're going to have a massive tables challenge for the whole school, and we're also going to have socials, like we're going to have a dance marathon, and we're going to have things where we're going to do more fun things online. Okay. All right, any questions? Any questions? Any questions?
Yes.
Ma'am, how does the thing...
Yes. Yes. Jonathan is asking about onions. Now, have you ever had fried onions at the spoon? They're sweet. They have sugar in them, yes. So it's also going to get sugar from the phloem tubes. All right. You don't like onions at this person, Nicole?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so what else? Yeah, have you got any questions? So it's quite easy to understand. And the questions come up a lot, and there should be a full mark